So Sandra, I remember in the class, you share a lot of different methodologies with us.
Right.
And you've mentioned you learn a lot, you keep on learning and equipping yourself with new skills. So what were the some of the methodologies that you picked up?
You know, once we start learning and get to know ourselves more, there are actually a lot of different methodology, and it seems like it's an endless row of learning. In a way, it's fun, you know. So what I actually started is I started with NLP first, and then NLP actually have coaching element, and then there are different intervention tools like hypnosis, and we have timeline therapy. That's the base of it. And after that, I proceed to learn more about emotions and how our body respond to the everyday environment thing. So I actually get in touch with trauma therapy, which is a very interesting learning. And after that, I realized when we start getting to know more about the body response to whatever our experiences, realize that it will have another layer of thinking about, so why on earth that I need to run this life when it's so much hard work, isn't it? I'm sure a lot of people start thinking about it, especially when they go into midlife crisis, right? So I also go through that, and I actually start a lot of spiritual learning. So there are different methodology there as well. So things like spiritual response therapy, where they use a pendulum to do different things. There are family constellations.
Oh, I remember that one.
That is a very, very, very inspiring too, isn't it? And there are a lot others. But I would say for me, it's more like experiencing everything and then pick different things that can integrate well together for the piece of work that I want to do. So as a result of it, you realize in a classroom, it's not really limited to NLP, isn't it? We talk about a lot of things that is interrelated. So at the end, it will be a very experiential training, whereby people will come to the class, and my intention is not to teach theory, as you can testify. So what I actually did is I want people to bring in the real life issues, whatever happened in the moment of their life, into the classroom, and they share what is going through. And through that, when we teach different concepts, different tools, they can resolve their own issues.
I think that is a very valuable part and special part about the class you ran.
Yeah, and people remember the rest of their lives.
It was.
Well, I run into students that is in my classroom over 10 years ago, lately, and we chit chat about what we remember and all that. Believe it or not, people still remember a lot of things in the classroom. And that is something I think is what I want to create, because that will actually instill some memory that you will bring with you for the rest of your life. And because the memory will associate with different useful techniques and concepts, so these are the things you will not forget. And because at that moment in life that you find it so useful, I will assume that in the rest of your life there will have moments that you need to recall them for your convenient use. So that becomes a sustainable long-term change. So that is what I want to create. Not only to learn about the theory and get different certification, even though I know Hong Kong people love certificates, but on top of it, I think application is more important. And that is something I want to use different methodology, different exercise, remember all the things that we do in the classroom. So with all these kind of interactions, with all the experience that we create, it becomes a lasting memory of useful bits and pieces. So that is some fun.
Yeah, I like the words you use, sustainable and long-lasting, and that is why we love your class so much.
Yeah, a lot of people, they can be very suspicious, and they will say, yeah, at the moment of high, I will change, but it will flat back. But I think of all the students that I have, there are quite a number of them we stay in contact. And if we talk about what their current environment, what the life situation they are in, I still have a very absolute percentage that people are still telling me that I still find this useful, I still remember this, and whatever I told you in the past now is getting better. So you sitting in front of me is a classic example. So when we arrange this interview, it is actually, to me, it's a very good idea to invite you to be our interviewer, because what is better than having a live example in front of us and to share with us what it is and how you find it useful.
And I'm really glad to share with others what I went through and my transformation as well.
Right, looking forward to it.
So Sandra, this new program that you're having to roll out soon, which is a 8 days bootcamp style intensive training. So tell us more about what this is like.
You know, bootcamp, the principle of it is very condensed. So in the design that we are going to roll out in July, it is actually 4 consecutive days in one row as part 1, and the part 2 will be another 4 consecutive days. So the beauty of it is when you actually, remember the time when you're in the classroom, when you are separated from the outside world, focus in yourself, and then we intensively working on different aspects, it becomes, the more intensive, the more focused you are, it will get the more depth in the exploration. So that's what I found. And so that's why we want to roll out a program that is so compact, back to back 4 consecutive days, so we can pack things together to bring in the maximum intensity.
It's really compact.
Squeeze out whatever that is nonsense, not useful, and then we want to revamp it and transform it something better. So the element, the content is similar to what you go through, but you are more relaxed tempo, right?
Yes, kind of chill.
Right, kind of chill, but having that has its own beauty. But we want to actually try a different format to see how the response are. Particularly when we aim to have, because it's English-speaking community, we would suspect the chances are the candidate that come to a classroom likely will be executives, which their schedule will be a little bit difficult to manage because they may have a lot of trips, even though we don't have trips these days.
Yes.
That helps. But I think their schedule is more flexible, more dynamic. So it's very hard for them to block out consecutive 3-month schedule.
Yeah, that's tough.
Right, so we want to actually do something more convenient in their time planning. So it will be 2 slots of 4 days in a row. So literally in a month, they should be able to complete the whole program. So it's more manageable. And on top of it, I want to have that intensity in the workshop. And I think the transformation from that intensity may be a little bit more exciting, maybe.
Really? So what can we expect in the classroom?
I would say same as what you experienced. We will want the candidate to really have a reflection about their current life status in all dimensions of their life, like career, relationship, family, finance, health, and development. And then when they think through their life, they will bring in issues and challenges they're really facing and bring it to the classroom. And as we usually do, everyone in the classroom will share what they have as of today, what they intend to achieve. And when we go through the classes in different modules, we will like peeling up an onion, remember?
Yeah.
We will actually be able to apply whatever concepts and techniques that we are going to cover because of the design of the syllabus. They will then reflect on themselves, real case, real time, okay? So when there's no escape, because when there are activity, you demonstrate certain behavior, whatever your mind wants to explain yourself, the reality speaks very loud. The moment hits you. So it will be a very intense process where it's like an onion peeling up layer by layer to find out what is the little black dot that really create a problem in your life. And because of that, it will be direct application of all the concepts and all the techniques onto your own case. At the same time, you witness changes of your classmate. You know, our class is never big. So this class is also small size class. So they will actually have a lot of personal attention, and the interaction will allow them to see changes in themselves and also changes around the classroom in the other classmates. You know, as human beings, all our problems are similar.
Yeah.
So to see the transformation in other people sometimes will prepare the working in ourselves as well. So that never changes. It's still the same in that way. But I think it's only a little bit more compact, so maybe a little bit more tiring because it's consecutive.
Yes, it will.
But
it's very intensive.
Right, but I always remember you guys who keep telling me that we miss class, we want to come back, we don't want it to end.
Yeah.
So I don't worry about the tiredness, because it is excitement along with the tiredness. So that is the environment for change. So it will be something very looking forward to.
Yes, I'm looking forward to know more about it, on how the class actually experience, and what would be the outcome as well.
They also need to do examinations though. So because
and homework?
Homework, because they're consecutive. So in terms of the homework that you guys used to do is, you have this topic, go home and think about it. You have this topic that you need to do certain things about it. Maybe a little bit less, Because if I give them homework after that day's training and tomorrow morning they have to come back to class, that is a little bit too demanding. So the way they will approach the changes may be slightly different because of that. But I think because of the intensity of it, there's no escape but change. Yeah. So I think that is the design. But they will, at the end, if they qualify the hours and they qualify with the exams, they will still get a certificate.
Oh, that is exactly like what I did.
A little bit less because they will only have NLP and NLP coaching, two certificates.
I see.
Because it's compact in such a way. So advanced technologies like timeline therapy that you guys love so much and hypnotherapy will be a separate module that will be rolled out separately.
Okay, so that would be like an add-on after the bootcamp.
Yes, that will be afterward. And as you just gone through your MP program, which is level 2 of this whole thing, that will be something that we'll consider to roll out for the English speaking community as well. But at the moment, it's more on the CP level 1.
I think that's a very exciting news.
Yeah. Because in Hong Kong, if you look around, there are not a lot of provider of English speaking classes of
That's
NLP.
true. Yeah.
And as I always say, my classroom is in itself very unique because it's experiential. So experiential plus English plus the sustainable change, I think that would be something in the Hong Kong market. It's something new, I guess.
I remember a friend asked me if the course I took is CEF reimbursable. Will this one be also?
The good news is they will be entitled to CEF as well. So with the $20,000 from Hong Kong government, that if they have never used it, this is the golden time to use it.
Perfect time.
But they have to pass the exam.
Oh, that is a key.
But if they really enjoy and go along with the class and apply change on themselves, I never see a student that cannot pass the exam.
That's true. I passed.
Good grades too, I remember.